Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to go in depth over one of the book series that I love, and that is Melody Ann's The Billionaires books. It's of twin brothers that want to set up their kids to get grandkids, and then they find out later on in the series that they have a third brother which is a triplet, so they end up being triplets. So I'm going to start off with the first book of the series, and that is, let me just get my tablet to go right round, and that is The Billionaire Wins the Game. It's a beautiful cover. They have changed the covers just recently, but these are the covers that I know. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the blur of each book, if I can get my phone to play with it. So each one will have like the same little bit and then maybe a same little bit at the end, so I will skip over some of the bits that repeat themselves. So Joseph Anderson has decided it's time for his 3 successful sons to find brides. Joseph wants grandchildren to fill his mansion, and he wants them immediately. His eldest son Lucas is successful in all areas of his life except love. Where am I? And Joseph begins matchmaking. He finds Amy Harper and deems her the perfect daughter-in-law. He just needs to get her and Lucas to both realise they're made for each other. Lucas Anderson is a wealthy, sexy, stubborn. He has no desire to have any woman enter his life, causing chaos or using his family's name. Many women have tried, and he's been successful in finding out who they are beneath their false smiles. Amy Harper was raised in tragic circumstances and doesn't like pampered rich men who have been handed everything with a silver spoon. She spent years finishing her education and then received a job with the Anderson Corporation. She instantly doesn't like her incredibly sexy boss, who is arrogant and thinks every woman should fall at his feet. When Amy becomes pregnant after one reckless night of passion, she's scared he will take the baby and run. Lucas is demanding and used to get in his way, but Amy has just the right amount of spark to ignite his fuse and challenges every step of the way. Lucas's father, Joseph, and his brothers, Alex and Mark, offer laughter, love, and support with the love of Lucas's family, who aren't just rich and successful, but also kind and giving. Amy starts to realise that being wealthy doesn't make or break a man. It starts to picture the happy ever after she never believed. So this is where it starts off, like, with the whole family. Basically, I think this is one of my favourite couples, because I really like Amy. You get to hear about her a lot in different other books, that she brings out a lot of the other brides. So yeah, it's quite interesting on how they work everything. She is amazing. The books are really quick. I think, if I remember correctly. So this one's 257 pages, so they're under like 300 pages each book, but they're full of everything, if you get what I mean. Did I just unfollow? There we go. So yeah, the next book, I need to get all of this up because it's so hard to get up. I need something to prop the screen up. Right. So this is the second book, which is The Billionaire's Dance. As I say, like, most of the book covers are stunning, and they all work well with each other. So this one, it says he was successful in his elder son's match, and in this book his scheming brings Alex and Jessica together. Alex is the middle son in a successful and loving family. He is a confirmed bachelor who loves to travel around the globe and romance as many women as possible. That is until he meets Jessica Sanders. One night with her and he's changing his views on bachelorhood and starts thinking about that married life is the new way for him. Jessica comes from a wealthy family and has had one too many good-looking men to take advantage of her. When she meets the confirmed bachelor and known playboy Alex Anderson, she distrustfully of his flirting and tries to avoid him at all costs. That is until they end up trapped in an elevator, and her fear of the dark, tight spaces is greater than her fear of the man she's trapped with. This is the second book in the series. Make sure you've read the Lucas's story, because it follows on. It is very good. Like, didn't mean to drop everything. Stupid thing. Right. So this one, I think if I remember correctly, they have like a love-hate relationship. Like, it is one of those ones. But he's like trying to chase her and she's like, no, I've had enough of like men type, the wealthy men. It's just brilliant to see them interact with each other. And you can tell she really likes him, but she's trying to like stay back, trying to not make herself in that situation where she's going to be heartbroken. It is a very, very good read. One of my favourite ones as well. As I say, like, most of these books are my favourite. So the next one in the series is The Billionaire Falls. The Billionaire Falls, sorry. So this one is the third brother. As I say, like, the third brother is, as I say, like, they all follow on from each other. In this book, he finds the perfect bride for his youngest son, Mark. Mark is a $1 billion ranch operation that takes many employees to run successfully. He loses his cook and leaves it to his father to find a new one. Little does Mark know that Joseph is far more interested in her marriage potential than her cooking skills. Luckily, he finds a woman who can cook and will make the perfect bride for his son. Emily Jackson is on the run from people who want to take her 5-year-old son from her. She ends up in a small town in Washington and excited to find an ad in the paper for a live-in cook. When she starts work at the beautiful ranch, sparks fly with her new boss, who is sexier than any cowboy any cowboy has the right to be. She does not want to risk having any affair with her boss and losing her job, so she will fight the attraction until passion overcomes them both. So take the journey with Mark and his family as the youngest Anderson finds his bride. So this one's very, very interesting, considering it's got like a bit of history with the female, and she's already got a son, so she's trying to like protect him, trying to keep him, the custody of him, but of course the family are really, really want to take him away from her. But of course Joseph Anderson wants to step in and helps her out. They just love her to pieces and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. It's a really, really cute one. It is amazing, like, how this one turns out. But you get it straight from the first page. You're like, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Then we're on to the second brother. So this is The Billionaire's marriage proposal. This one is very, very intriguing, especially like with going on to the second son, like the second brother, sorry. Where is it? So it now starts off at the same bit. So it's George Anderson lost his wife 5 years ago, and then his family fell apart. He needs to make a drastic change to bring his family back together. He gets together with his twin brother Joseph Anderson, and the two men make plans to do some matchmaking for George's stubborn children. George will get his grandkids and his family all together again. So Trenton Anderson is furious with his father. When the man decides to move the corporation he runs from Chicago to Seattle, he arrives in Seattle to meets Jennifer Stella, and the sparks immediately fly. He decides he likes what he sees and immediately begins chasing her. Jennifer had a horrible tragedy and lost her sister and brother-in-law in a car accident. She has temporary custody of her niece and needs to do whatever it takes to gain full custody. She gets a great job working for Trenton and can't seem to resist the man's advances, though she continues to try. Both Trenton and Jennifer are stubborn and charming, and along with Trenton's siblings and cousins, you'll fall in love with the Andersons all over again. So, as I say, this is like the first child of George. George, as I said previously on the blur, George lost his wife, and he kind of distanced himself from his twin brother for a while. Then his twin brother was like, this is enough, we are going to get back together, we're going to get him the help that he needs. So yeah, it was hard to see like them going their separate ways, but they come back together, it's fine. Other than that, there's not much really to say about that one. So yeah, that one was quite a weird one, but it's really interesting as well. So this one is Blackmailing the Billionaire. So this one is quite cool. The only reason this is not a shiny screen is because I have a matte screen protector on the top of it, because I used this to draw when I first was getting back into drawing. So that is the reason why it's not got a glare to it. So this one starts off really like straight in. It doesn't have like the George or Joseph or anything like that in the front. So this one is Cassandra, or Cassie as everyone calls her, is trying to get her big break into the journalism world. She wants an exclusive interview with the famous Max Anderson, but the man refuses to return her calls. She isn't willing to give up, but fate steps in and helps her out. She's out taking a walk one afternoon when everything goes dark. She wakes up in a hospital to find out that she's been hit by a car by none other than Max Anderson. He offers to pay her off, but there's only one thing she wants from Max, and that's to get her exclusive interview. Max agrees to Cassie's interview, but only because she intrigues him. He wants to spend time with her to find out why he can't get her out of his mind, day or night. So this is like the 5th book, so it's quite interesting. Like, they've all got different like storylines, they've all got different ways of meeting, they've all got different responsibilities as well. So it's very you'll never read the same story twice. As I say, there's like 12 books in this series. Then we have the Runaway Heiress. The Runaway Heirs. This one is, if I remember correctly, this is the female, one of the females of the family. So this time it says Joseph and George Anderson are once again back at matchmaking in the 6th book in the Billionaire Bachelor series. Bree has had enough of of overprotective brothers and a meddling father, so she decides to run to a small town where she can prove she can make it on her own. The only thing wrong with that situation is there's a stalker after her, determined to make her his, or else end her life. George hires Chad, Mark's best friend and ex-Navy SEAL, to guard Bree. She is furious about her father's not sending her a babysitter. Sparks and bullets fly between Bree and Chad. Open the pages to find humor, love, mystery, and so much more. Enjoy the newest book in the best-selling romance series. This, I kind of really like this one. I think Bree is, you get really annoyed with her, but you get to love her in the end. Because she is like one of the females in the family. She has a lot of the brothers and a lot of her cousins are all boys. So she's like, I'm outnumbered here, like, you all baby me, like, I'm not a baby no more. She wants to step out and show them that she's not a baby no more. And I think that's what makes this one so much special. Then we have this one, which is the Billionaires' Final Stand. It's such a cute little one. Austin Anderson is used to being single, but slowly he's watched his siblings and cousins find true love, leaving him, the final Anderson, without a spouse. That's all about to change when he meets Kingsley, who has him chasing after her all across town. This couple has passion, love and excitement, and both are determined to make it on their own, though they are so much better together. Listen to the heartfelt reminiscing of Catherine as she tells the story of her romance with Joseph as she sits by his bedside, never losing faith that he will come back to her. So this one is a little bit different because I think it's more of the fact that, so this bit is when the head of the Anderson family, Joseph, gets into a life-changing car accident, his family struggle to find a way to survive if he doesn't come out of the coma the accident has him placed in. Catherine is Joseph's wife, and everybody loves Catherine. And when they hear the story of how them two met and how she puts him in his place, even though he's like the head of the family, she's the one that keeps him in place. She's the one that sticks by him, and she proves to all the women that even though that the men are successful, they can still be put in their place, and with the right women, they are the best men they can be. And I think this is the one that is amazing to see, like, all their interactions, and they will find out that actually the fact that this is the best way to do this. But yeah, it is amazing to hear her side of the story from when she met Joseph. So yeah. The next one is Unexpected Treasure, which looks like this. It's, if I remember correctly, I think these are all the Unexpected or the Treasure series side of the series. So this one says the Andersons are back in an exciting new line of the best-selling series everyone is talking about. In this new series, you will meet Richard Storm and his 5 children, and the circumstances that ripped him away from his brothers, Joseph and George Anderson. See how they finally meet. The bond of the Andersons' bloodline are too strong to keep their family apart forever. So Richard Storm is saddened that his children are throwing away their lives and offered them the ultimate. They have 2 years to take a failing business and make it a success, or they lose their trust funds and are on their own. His stubborn children think he's gone insane, but they don't know the powerful secret that can knock them to their knees and tear their family apart. Will Will they come together as they should, or will self-censors consume their hearts, ripping their family apart forever? So this one follows the crew, and this is where it comes into like how they get into this storyline is quite interesting. It's quite intriguing as well. So Crew Storm opens an exclusive resort in Catalina Islands off the coast of California, and pride swells within him as he accomplishes the impossible. Everything is going on track until a blonde steps into his life and begs him to teach her how to be the perfect seductress after she researches his technique of charming and luring women to the bedroom. Hayley Sutherland is done with her fears, and done with being a wallflower, and done being invisible. She comes up with a brilliant idea to find the perfect person to teach her how to seduce the man she really truly wants. Though the person she's chosen to be her teacher is Crew Storm, soon she finds she's forgetting her first love's name. This story will take you on a journey through the heart of as Crew teaches Hayley more than she ever imagined, and finds himself gaining more than he thought he needed. Reunite with the Andersons as they discover new relatives and meet new branch in the Anderson line. Will love truly conquer, or will stubbornness make them lose everything they've ever knew they had? So it's like literally, it's come like full circle, and they've got to do it all over again. It is brilliant, but they've got different sides of the story as well. They're not the same story as what we've already read. I think this is what makes me more intrigued about reading these books, is because there's 12 books in the series, and not each book has the same storyline. It's completely different, and it keeps you wanting to read the next book and everything like that. So it's another plus. So the next one in this series is Hidden Treasure. This is another one that I absolutely love. Like, as I say, I love all of these books. I'm going to keep saying it. So this is the second book in the Lost Anderson series. So I think her name is Briley Storm, inherits a deceptive ranch in the wilds of Montana, and she isn't happy about her situation in the least. She may be moving her to her new home, and she may be planning on doing whatever it takes to make her billionaire father happy, but she certainly won't be doing it with a smile on her face. No, Briley plans on coming to Montana, hiring some ranch hand to do all the work, and then getting out of there before the first winter snow has a chance to hit. Montana isn't a state that offers predictable weather, and Briley is going to find out that the land isn't the only thing she has to fear. When her hotter than any city boy ever dreams of being cowboy neighbor shows up on her doorstep, Briley decides that maybe Montana isn't so bad after all. That is until he laughs openly at her city girl's ways. Then she has something to prove. So it's another ranch, but this is completely like different to like I think it's Mark. Completely different to the cousin of one of the other boys. He already has a running ranch that he knows how to make money. He knows how to run it and everything like that. This one is a female who has nothing to do with the wildness. She doesn't know how to run a ranch. She doesn't know how to do any of that thing. So she's like starting from bottom and working her way up. And I think she learns a lot from her neighbour. And yeah, it's intriguing. Like, this one really is intriguing due to the fact that it's something that's out of her comfort zone. The next one is Holiday Treasure. So we're getting to the end of the books, so I do hope. I haven't lost you anywhere. So mega wealthy Tanner Storm has it all. Great looks, wealth, and nothing to hold him down. Then his father decides to play games with him and his siblings, handing him an apartment complex in downtown Seattle that Tanner wants nothing to do with. When the conditions of his father's terms ensures that he do something with this building or his inheritance, he at first thinks, so what? But then it becomes a challenge that he has to accept because he's never backed down. He decides to tear down the building and start fresh with some far more appealing that will add to his already fat wallet. The only problem is that the residents don't want to leave, and under the contract with his father, he can't force them out. When he ends up before Judge Krungle from all the complaints made against him, the judge decides the best punishment for him will be 2 weeks of living in every apartment complex he despises and 2 weeks of community service. Playing Santa Claus at the mall. Perfect. This is not the Christmas of his dream. The plot thickens when he meets his neighbour, Kayla, and falls into instant lust. Will this turn out to be Tanner's secret angel, or will he forget all about her the minute he leaves? This is a Christmas one, and I love it. It's so funny because he's so against Christmas. He doesn't want to be anywhere around the time for Christmas. He is so not there. He's just like, let me just do my stuff and just go. It is so funny. I think I laughed more at this book than I did any other. So yeah, I think each one is as I said, it is a unique story. So the next one in this is Priceless Treasure. This one's not a full picture, but you see the picture anyway. So I do apologise that I'm looking down when I read this because I can't read up here. I'm not very good at doing two things at once. So Ashton Storm has already possessed a sense of humour, but he tends to be more thoughtless and self-absorbed than his other siblings. He skated along through life, enjoying the finer things. That was until one day his father had enough and gave him an ultimatum. He either did his father's bidding, or he rides an easy street came into an instant stop. Though Ashton fought against doing what his father's demanded, he finally caved in and took the small boating company his father gave him and made it a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Now he's back on the easy street and he's alone, but for how long? Richard Storm was disappointed when his matchmaking plans for his son Ashton and the very sexy, smart, somewhat clumsy Savannah Mills didn't work out. But no other woman seemed to be catching his son's eye. Fate has a funny way of working out though, and maybe, just maybe, Richard hadn't been wrong about Ashton and Savannah being the perfect couple because they're about to finally meet. So I think this is the one that Richard tries to set his son up with Savannah. Savannah tries to help, but of course I don't think they actually get into it first. I think they may meet, but they don't finally meet until later on. But he's like, I want to do it all on my own. I am better on my own. I know what I'm doing. I don't need any help. And Richard is like, well, that's gone my plans for setting him up. But the fate has it, and it comes around. It's really, really good. And then the last one is, and this is the new picture. I couldn't find the ones that match the rest of the series. And that is The Ultimate Treasure. Now this one is the new covers for the 10-year anniversary, I think it is. So they're a little bit more black and they're a bit more vibrant. But I kind of like the white ones. The white ones really do look stunning. So yeah. we have, don't want to do that. Oh, whereabouts this book? There it is. Oh, got an itch. Come on. So Alexa Mills gets the trip of a lifetime when she's chosen to go on a humanitarian trip to the Philippines to help rebuild one of the villages that were devastated years ago by natural disasters. She's more than excited until she steps on the jet and discovers her benefactor is none other than Lance Storm, the man she's had a one-night stand with at her sister's wedding to Ashton Storm. They are together in a foreign country for a month, and she can't fight her attraction to him, though she knows marriage can end devastatingly badly. After all, the only example she's ever had is the abusive father who raised her and the weak mother who allowed it. When they return home and Lance asks her to pretend to be his girlfriend for the holiday so his family will lay off trying to get him married, she can't resist the temptation. She doesn't want to spend another holiday alone, but will Lexi forget that it's all pretend as she is welcomed with open arms into the Anderson and Storm clan? Or will she manage to hold on to her convictions and walk away with the fantasy of being part of a family and falling in love with the man is supposed to be over? I've not read this one, I don't think. This one really, really intrigues me. That's why I want to read the whole series again, because I only found out about this one. But yeah, as I say, this one's she's like related to Ashton's wife, so it's a sibling. So it kind of like is intriguing at the same time. I really want to find out more about this one. But as I say, like, this series is just amazing. The way it's written for me is one of my favourite ways it's written. There may be a few spelling mistakes, but other than that, it may have updated because, as I say, they've got the 10th anniversary of front covers now. I just love this series so much, and I reread it so many times. I think I've read it 3 or 4 times now, up until when the new book comes out, and then I reread the whole entire series again. But this one I have not read yet, and I really, really want to start reading it. I think this one came out, like, I want to say a couple of years ago. I just haven't had a chance to get round to reading these books again. Hopefully now that I've got my Kindle working properly, then I can get back into reading these books. But other than that, I really, really recommend this series, especially if you like your Billionaire love romance series. This is one of my favourites. Not everybody has the same taste, I do get that. I am trying to branch out of my comfort zone of reading, so like horror and mysteries is another one that I really want to get into. I've only read a couple of mysteries. I really, really want to get back into reading again. So hopefully this will kickstart my reading, and next year I'll be able to do a bit more in depth of what books I'm reading and stuff like that. So stick around. I hope you enjoy this video. If you want to see more content from me, please leave comments in my videos. I do get back to you. I love talking to the community. I am new to the booktube. I have been reading for so long now. I just want to like share my opinions on certain things, especially my way of thinking is completely different to everybody else's, and I love like watching videos of people recommending different stories. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and